throne no crowd can stop Lord Chippy from burning them down. Justice ain't fast, justice ain't clean. It's a long, sharp road through the in-between. So raise your fists and light your flames. Chippy's coming and he don't play games.
Okay, Flux, she's hot, but crazy. So I don't know where that puts her in like the hotness to crazy ratio, but well, she went a little bit mad. Hell hath no fury like or sparkle like a woman scorned. A Kentucky woman allegedly destroyed, and I do mean destroyed, her ex-boyfriend's car by putting salt in the gas tank and loading his air conditioning system with glitter, then flashed a killer smile in her glam mugshot. I mean, fair point, she does have a nice rack of justice. But if it's covered in glitter, is it considered a concealed weapon? Don't know. This is a question for someone else. Pregnant 31-year-old. Oh, well, she's pregnant. Oh, look, I mean, she was, she was, this was entrapment. She was obviously under the control of her evil, evil uterus and hormones. She needs to be out of prison. Can someone get a fundraiser for this woman? Pregnant 31-year-old Stephanie Carlquist unleashed her epic torrent of fury on her ex's car after getting in a fight with him early last month. I guess that's why he's her ex. Now, her antics, included pouring salt into the vehicle's engine, putting glitter in its AV vent, or AC vent, slashing a tire and cracking its windshield and rear view mirror, also shattering its radio screen. She's very subtle. Now, her ex told police that she slashed the tire during a previous argument, July 6th, but did the rest of the damage July the 15th. Yikes. Now, the results were so extensive to the car that it was simply considered just totaled. The alleged one-woman hurricane of vengeance inflicted was an estimated $13,000 worth of damage. Now, cops say that Carlquist admitted that what she did to the car to a tow truck driver who carted it off and called the victim's mother to tell her what happened. Now, a short time later, Carlquist allegedly messaged her ex-boyfriend on Instagram and apologized, explaining she was stressed out because of her pregnancy. Now, during her interview with police, Carlquist allegedly admitted to cracking the windshield and putting glitter in the vents, but claimed the rest of the damage was due to the car being overdue for an oil change and other services. She was arrested and flashed the wide smile in a mugshot before being booked into, prison on felony criminal mischief charges in lieu of a $12,000 bond. So, if you're mad and you're pregnant, step away from the glitter. I don't know who needs to hear this. Step away from the glitter. On a less lighthearted, though honestly more perplexing and what in the rapture of Walmart is going on here, a son claimed to have decapitated the quote-unquote evilest dad and carried his head in a plastic bag to another home. As you do. Just on a weekday. Oh, good, it's Indiana. Makes perfect effing sense. Hoosier, there's more than corn in Indiana, there's decapitation. Cops in Indiana made a grisly discovery when they found the body of a victim decapitated in his own home and later recovered the head at another home. Because, he needed more headspace in his new apartment. It all began about 10 a.m. on Friday when the ex-wife of the victim, 73-year-old Eric von Winnick Sr., called police and requested a welfare check at his home in Jeffersonville, which sits along the Hoosier state border with Kentucky. This explains a lot. Now, she was concerned for his safety because he and their son, 33-year-old Bryce William Winnicke, were having problems. A probable cause arrest affidavit obtained by Law and Crime said. This is going to sound graphic, but his head was cut off, a 911 caller said, according to local NBC affiliate WAVE. We don't know where his head is. Now, cops went inside and made the shocking discovery. It was a very apparent homicide, Jeffersonville Police Detective Sam Moss told reporters. In other obvious news, the sky is still blue and days still end with Y. Now, the victim was discovered in his bedroom with significant evidence of defensive wounds, along with multiple stab wounds to his chest. Now, there was blood spatter all over the walls of the bedroom. Investigators wrote that they recovered a large knife with a blade roughly 1 foot long and a deformity that likely occurred when it came into contact with hard substances. Now, as investigators surveyed the scene, Bryce spoke with his mother, who was at the victim's home, on the phone. I killed him, he allegedly told his mother. I went over to Dad's because he's the evilest person that ever lived. I cut off his head. Now, officers learned that he was at his mother's house roughly a mile away on Callahan Drive, allegedly carrying a plastic bag that was roughly, the size of a human head. He was also holding a knife and ran inside when he saw police refusing to come out. Now, the SWAT team had to respond to the house, and after tossing a flashbang inside the home, they were able to get him outside after 4 hours. Following the standoff, police went inside where they discovered the victim's head in the son's bedroom, per the affidavit. And I will be keeping tracks on this because this is in my home state, and I should be able to cover at least the hearings. But this is crazy that could only come out of Indiana. Let's keep in mind we have a family that was affected by the result of this. Chief Kenny Kavanaugh said, adding that the scene was horrific. Now, Bryce Winneke stands accused of murder and abuse of a corpse and remains in Clark County Jail. Now, neighbors on Summerlin Place, where the original crime scene occurred, were really stunned. It's really kind of shocking because it's a safe neighborhood. Randy Snyder told local CBS affiliate WLKY. When families have issues, it can hit anywhere, just anywhere, so it's sad. So this is one that I'll definitely be keeping up with as it's local. I should be able to, not local, but it's in the same state. So I should be able to, keep up with it. Now, what in the Peyton's Place on discount is going on here? He was my best friend, now he's dead meat. A woman whose boyfriend shot his former best friend in the groin because he was trying to manipulate her learns her fate. Get your pieces of paper and your little, lines out, because this is all crazy. Now, on the same day that her boyfriend received a life sentence for murder, a Virginia woman pled guilty to her role in the same crime. Kaylee Turner, 21, entered a plea of guilty to first-degree murder as a principal in the second degree on Friday afternoon, just hours after her boyfriend, 24-year-old Dustin Dove, was given a life sentence for murdering 22-year-old Seth Wallace. Now, as Law and Crime previously reported, Dove was convicted of killing Wallace when he believed that Wallace had been inappropriate with his girlfriend, Turner, while Dove was in jail. Now, before May 2024, Dove and Wallace had been best friends. Now, the relationship between both Dove and Wallace began in 2022, but went sour when Dove was convicted of drug charges in early 2024. Now, Turner, so the girl, told her boyfriend that Wallace was being fresh with her. And the two men then began engaging in you leave my woman alone. I'm not doing nothing to your woman. So that kind of thing. Now, a digital forensic expert read the messages aloud in court. WHSV reported, with messages including, "Dog, I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to get away with it." Newsflash, he didn't. At some point, Dove even said, or was said to have recorded videos wearing a mask and holding an AR-style, force multiplier used in the shooting. Now, according to Dove's defense attorney, Wallace told Turner that Dove was manipulating her by saying Dove was cheating on her. Now, in the early morning hours of May 25th, 2024, Turner and Dove were exchanging texts that indicated that they were going to go to a location where they knew that Wallace would be. Investigators said that Turner drove herself and Dove to Wallace's location after telling him that she was on her way. At 4:17 a.m., Wallace called Turner, but it was not known whether the call was ever answered. Now, according to investigators, Wallace was shot between 4:18 a.m. and 4:20. Later that morning, Turner texted Wallace, "Help, he's got me at gunpoint," in an attempt to cover up her involvement in the shooting. Now, unfortunately, Wallace passed away from infection caused by 9 gunshot wounds 2 weeks after he passed away. Yeah, Flux, I don't get I mean, if he was cheating on you in a men's prison, then there might not be much of a relationship there unless you discussed him being bi beforehand. Now, months after Wallace died, Dove is said to have written a rap song and sung about it over a jail line with phrases including, "I don't duck murders. He was my best friend. Now he's dead meat." Now, according to courtroom coverage by the Santon News Leader, Turner apologized at her sentencing, saying, "I'm very sorry and I apologize for my actions in this situation." Now, the outlet reported that Judge Paul Dreyer was not happy with the plea deal, saying Turner did not even seem to show remorse for her actions. Now, Turner was sentenced to an active prison term of 11 years and 6 months, with 18 years and 6 months suspended plus 5 years probation. Now, if she violates that probation, she may be required to be incarcerated for the full 30-year sentence. So, just a stupid story with a bunch of, young people acting like it's high school, but bringing real world, weapons to a high school fight. And it's just incredibly sad that, essentially 3 families have lost their loved ones, one to death and the other 2 to prison and poor lifestyle choices. It's just maddening.